No, I wanted to play this one for you because this is everyone's worry, right? And you're one of the guys who says this all the time. What free agent is going to look at this clown car and come here to Wackadoodle USA with Triples Alley and a bunch of 6A players? What is this crap, right? Am I right? All right. Well, here's what
Am I right?
Here's what Farhan has to say about that.
The main focus for us as we go into free agency is being able to sell our situation, our baseball situation, as much as anything. I mean, top free agents want to be in environments where they think the team's going to be successful. They're a big part of that, but they also want to feel like whether it's the current roster, whether it's the farm system, there's going to be help, especially when you're talking about guys who have a chance to be here for a long time.
Now, also standing right behind me, very uncomfortable because he's so damn tall, this guy, Bonte Hill, right over my left shoulder.
Okay.
For the whole presser.
He's legit 6'5", by the way.
He's behind me, isn't
he?
Good Lord, what a presence. Anyway, he brought up that comment that Farhan made a year ago about that at minimum sounded like he was saying it can be challenging to bring free agents to San Francisco because this place is crazy, y'all. That's not what he said. I'm not even paraphrasing.
You paraphrasing?
No, I'm coaching, actually. But anyway, that came up, and here's what Farhan had to say about it today.
As far as the geography, I'd say the same thing I said with the manager. This is, a great storied organization. This is, in my opinion, the best ballpark in Major League Baseball. I think everybody loves playing here. When I talked about, the idiosyncratic nature of it, some of it is as simple as, how cold it is when we play our games. There are players that don't like playing in colder, in colder evenings. There are players who are born and raised on the East Coast, and that's their strong preference to sign with an East Coast team. There are players born and raised on the West Coast, and that's their preference. So, I still think at the end of the day, it's about, especially when you're talking about guys who are looking to sign somewhere long-term, it's the overall baseball situation, their confidence in the organization, and I think that carries the day. But honestly, every team, I think, deals with the market and recognizing that there are players for whom that isn't the ideal landing spot.
So one thing kept coming up, the baseball situation. And I do think that this is a very fair concern for Giants fans this year. This is why when this conversation came up a lot throughout the summer, play the young guys. It's not like you're going to win the World Series this year. Why does it matter? Let's see Matos get 500 at-bats. My response was the same thing every time. No, it matters incredibly to make the playoffs this year, and I find it to be a major concern that they didn't because they need to be able to show free agents that this is currently, not building toward, currently a winning roster that can threaten people in the playoffs. And if I had number one concern right now, it is that. It is pitching to free agents that you can show up and win here next year. I think that's a tough putt right now.
It's an impossible putt in terms of what you have coming back and what you've been able to attract. And so that to me is a big part of it. And, Farhan talked about the ballpark and people love the ballpark. Well, I wonder how many hitters would actually come out and say, oh, I love the ballpark. I love hitting here. It's so much fun hitting, 340-foot bombs that end up on the warning track, or shots to Triples Alley that aren't even triples. They're actually long outs and all the rest of it. So, yeah, the ballpark is beautiful. And he kind of answered Bonte's question with climate factors. Well, if you're out from the West and, it's warmer here, and if you're cold weather, warm weather, that kind of dodged, I think, the greater question. And the implication is what he had said before. And, Bonte paraphrased that, Farhan had said that, the factors of the city are maybe a deterrent. Whether or not he actually said that or not, it's been hard to disprove based on what he's done in free agency.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he's addressed this before. He addressed it with us a few months ago, and so I do think that he's a little hesitant to dive back in.
Sure.
Every time somebody went back like north of 8 months for their question, there was a little bit of an eye roll from Farhan. It wasn't visible. It was internal. You could feel it, though.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the phones. Tom in San Jose with Willard and Dibs. Hey, Tom. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. when did the San Francisco Giants fan base, when did we all become fans who wanted to see the deck reshuffled every year and to find diamonds in the rough? It's been a failure since he got here. It's just not it hasn't worked for Billy Beane either. So, but we were coming off 3 World Series, and there was, and like you two have been saying, there was people you could relate to, people you could root for, and I didn't go to one Giants game this year, and I was bored the whole year with them, and I suspect next year will be the same. 18 people coming back. Is he gonna sign up 7 starters? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, Tom, he actually said exactly who the starting rotation is going to be. They're almost all here already.
Right. So, do you think the Giants are going to be in the mix next year? They're not nearly like our competitors are Atlanta and the Dodgers and some, San Diego, if they were playing well, would be our competitors. But if I was in San Diego, I'd go out and I'd go to 5 or 6 games just to see the people that are in our lineup. There's nobody in our lineup I want to see. Nobody.
Tom, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm sure there's.
And don't sleep on Arizona either.
Sure,
they'll be better.
You know what though? Like, this is just me now. I'm out on having a discussion about who's going to be amazing next year.
Right.
Like, I have no idea. Yeah, sure. There's some things I guess you think you know. You think the Braves are going to be probably pretty good baseball team next year.
The Braves and Dodgers. You could probably.
Dodgers.
I mean, you could pen them in.
Yeah. Yeah, but can
Arizona young and getting better?
You'd think. I mean, like, it's not like they were dominant this year. 84 wins. Can the Giants compete next year? Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on the team.
Well, they competed this year until the last month.
Until the end.
Until they didn't.
Well, and I'd also say this, like when you go, oh gosh, 18 of these guys are going to be back. Well, yeah. You didn't think there were going to be 15 new players, did you? Nobody signs 15 free agents.
Right.
So if they did have 8 new players, that's a lot. That's a lot, And if one of them's name is Cody or Pete or Shohei or Juan, that's a game changer. I don't know if they will be, but yeah, you're going to have a lot of the same players. You need to acquire some difference makers, whether it's through trade or free agency. You need young guys, ones you have met and ones you haven't met, to come up and be good. Can all of that happen? It could. Do I think they're going to be better than the Braves or Dodgers next year? Probably not. But it's not out of the. I mean, come on. It's October 3rd.
Sure.
I don't know what this is going to look like next year. We got to wait and see what the roster is.
It's got to look dramatically different, though. It can't just be 1 or 2 players in terms of upgrades. You got to upgrade like 4 or 5 different spots. And it was interesting what he said about the pitching staff and how, the back end of the rotation is pretty much set. And he even talked about this year how they came into the year thinking that they had an excess of starting pitching with DeSclafani and Stripling and Minaya and Wood and Webb and Cobb, and they felt like they had 6 or 7 legitimate starters, not even counting the young guys. And it didn't really work out that way. And now, was that Kapler's fault? Is that the player's fault for not pitching well enough early on? Is it Farhan's fault for misidentifying, or all the above? Either way, going into next year, it doesn't feel like it's going to be much different.
Sponsored by Local Arena Ticks. I mean, Marco Luciano's going to be the starting shortstop. Maybe that'll go well. He's supposed to be a game-changing bat.
Right.
Supposed to be.
Sure. And so you've got Bailey catching, and you've got, Matos in left, or Matos in right?
I don't know anything about the outfield. I don't think anything is.
They don't know anything about the outfield.
I don't think anything's in ink about the outfield.